Yo, 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 what is up, YouTube? I've got a special one for you guys today. For those of you guys that don't know, my name is Josh Relman with American AF Dumpsters, and I have got the man, the myth, the legend, Ricky Hickey. What's up, man?
What's up, man? Out trying to make some money early this morning already, buddy.
Oh my gosh, I know. Tell me, so super excited and stoked to have you on the channel, man. I met you for the first time at DRS Con a couple weeks ago, and I've been nothing but a fan ever since.
Same here, man. I love the speech you gave when you got up there and talked. I said, man, he's got some character, and you have to have that to be successful in this.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. And any kind of business, right? I mean, it's kind of
Yeah.
hard to be an introvert, like I like to say I always am, but it's kind of hard to be an introvert when you're trying to be a sales guy, right? When you're trying to make some money and grow your business.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you just you'll run into scenarios, but you got to be able to think quick and act fast,
That's right.
and walk right through them immediately.
Yep. So who is this tie-dyed shirt guy that I've got on the channel called Ricky Hickey, man? Tell me
Oh
who
man.
you are. Tell me your story. Tell me where you live and where you do business out of.
Okay, I'm from Midland, Texas. This tie-dye shirt is the other company that I started with 24 years ago. I started a company called Main Event Sports on Air, have inflatables, everything you can imagine to rent from dance LED dance floors. Now we got those. We just got those in, but I mean, just a wide variety of everything, tents, all that. Done it forever. COVID. I thought I had the most safest business to ever have. I thought there was nothing that could ever kick me in the face, right? Because people spend money on kids, they don't care how much, they want to have fun.
Right.
So I thought I was safe. COVID came around, I was the first person that kicked in the face
Mm.
because no gatherings, and it put me on my heels. And immediately I had an opportunity to trade some carnival rides I had for some dumpsters.
Mm.
And I traded because I knew I was stuck. I mean, yeah, I didn't know how long COVID was going to go on. And I talked to people about getting in the trash business before, and I kept telling myself, man, I don't want to do that, you know? And then so I was forced into doing it because I had to do something quick.
Right.
And I did. And it just escalated from everything because I know a lot of people through ERS and DRS through ERS. I have over 8,000 customers. So
Mm.
right away, I flooded all them people with stuff about dumpsters. Through the emails I could send them. They responded. People reached out, wanted to help me, you know, because I told a little bit about my story that my back was against the wall. I needed your help. If you need us to haul stuff off, we can do that. And we were actually loading the dumpsters. We were doing everything, whatever you wanted. We did it at the start because, like I said, it was like a start over. But
Sure.
once it took off, it never looked back. I mean, right away, I started with a truck and a trailer, which I still have that truck and trailer, and I bought a few more bins. And then I seen right away that I needed big trucks. So I bought a guy out that he lived somewhere up around I think he lived in Mansfield, I think, in Dallas. And
Okay.
he had a couple of older Mack trucks, and he had 25 roll off dumpsters, brand new. He'd only had them for a couple of months, and it fell apart on him.
Mm.
And so we got all that here, and that got us rolling. Uh, I hired a guy named Husto. He'll talk to anybody just like myself, and every business we see that had a dumpster, we stopped and talked to him. We focused on the main roads because to me that's the key. We wanted the main roads around town where people see they got their eyeballs on them. So we went, and when we seen somebody else's dumpster there, we stopped and tried to talk them into my dumpster. If I knew them, whether I didn't know them, I wanted mine to be unique. I wanted mine to be in your face. Our dumpsters are Inca gold, Inca yellow, whatever you want to call it. They stand out. They're not black. It's an off color,
Mm.
but it's a bright color. So all of them are that way, and they just we put them on the main roads. People started calling because we took the other competitor out, put them on there. Uh, then we moved over and started just asking questions at big jobs. We already had a couple of small builders. We had some home builders, remodelers. some 5 day, 7 day turns. But we also tackled out here the people that have trash, the little trash bins. You can't throw anything in them. Can't throw pallets or anything like that. So we went right to the businesses that had the big dogs there, and I knew how much they charged, and I just said, "Hey, look, I can do it cheaper than that, and I can promise you service." We watched the ones that were full, stayed full, and we wrote them down. And if they stayed full a period of a week or two, every time you went by there, man, we went right in there and talked to that guy and or girl, whoever it was, and usually their first response was, "Man, I can't get them on the phone. They never answer the phone. I can't communicate with them. They empty it when they're ready. We got trash blowing all over the place." And we just started taking them away, picking them apart, and we have some companies now, and people started telling other people, "You should use let us dump it." I mean, we'd get people calling, the other business people would call and say, "Hey, so and so at this other business said that you'll take care of their needs, and you stay on top of it. Your guy calls us, and we need to change because we got no communication from
Right.
the big dog." And man, that's what we just did. And the more we did, the more, when we did that business, we looked next door and there was another one that had the same problem. Went right over there, gave him a brochure. We make brochures. Uh, to me, a brochure is the best ideal you can do. I used it for my other company. A picture's worth 1,000 words. I'll kind of show you one.
Yeah.
I'm in a different office, so this is not one of mine. I'm in a different office, so this is not one of mine. But this is kind of like what we sell at the other company that I have, But we can make it say whatever you want on it,
Okay.
But it looks professional. You go see somebody,
So,
if you give them your business, where does that business card go? It probably goes in the trash,
right.
right? If you give them a big catalog that looks like something he bought somewhere, they go, he must be a big guy, or it looks more professional. They never throw it away. It stays on the desk. The next person picks it up. The next person picks it up. You know, they turn it over. They look at it because mine will have other things in it. It might advertise this right here because we're doing the big companies. We can also wrap your vehicles.
Mm.
So it's more than one thing that I'm trying to sell them when I leave these brochures. There's 4 or 5 businesses that I have that are in them that we own ourselves.
So
So
you do event rentals, you do dumpster rentals, you do wrapping
mhm.
too. You do like vehicle wraps and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, it's called the Design Factory. She was there at DRS back in the
Yes.
back, Aaron.
So that's
Yeah,
a
that's
partner of yours, or that's a business that you own.
no, that's a partner of mine. Me and
Nice.
her are partners in business. We have a building that's on my property here that where I had everything else because I used to have an amusement park. We just took that building and turned it into this.
Wow.
You know,
Hold on, hold on.
so
All right, you hit like a whole bunch of gold nuggets there. I want to talk about, right? So I took a couple of notes while we're talking. Like there's so many gold nuggets. I mean, but you just kind of just went smooth through it so smoothly. It's like, wait a minute, wait a minute. So let's go back. First of all, you're in West Texas, right?
yes, sir, Midland, Texas.
Midland, Texas. Okay, so you're out there. Like, what's the population size? Because a lot of people say like, "Oh, I can't succeed here because my city's not that big." Midland, Odessa is how. What's the
Probably
population there?
150,000 between both of them is 300,000.
Okay,
That's
so
it.
you have a fairly small area. I mean, it's not
All
like a major city at all, um, and yet you've been able to succeed and go against the big boys. Am I right?
exactly. Yep.
Okay. All
Yep.
right. So going back to the Nuggets, right? I got a list of them. Going back to the Nuggets, you say you tapped into an already existing client base through your event rental system or event rental company, and you tapped in and you sent them like a mass email saying, "Hey, my name's Ricky Hickey. I'm in
Yep.
trouble.
They knew.
COVID has hit us pretty hard, right?"
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So you kind of played to the not played because it's your true story, but you kind of played to their
Sure.
heart, their draw, their heart, and you said, "Hey, you told your story,
Yep.
and because of that, people kind of how do you say
Yeah.
they were more they more
Yep.
knew you. They want to help you because they'd rather help you than help some big old corporate giant, right?"
Because of 2 factors, Josh, throughout my whole career, the 24 years. Mm, I told you I kind of get emotional sometimes.
Hey, I'm all for it, man. I hear you.
24 years in the other business. I built relationships.
Mm-hmm.
People that are my customers, they're not my customers, they're my family, big churches, big schools, big corporate events, right? So all those people personally knew me. They didn't know that they know some of the people that work with me on my team, but they personally knew me by being in the community all the time, being involved in all the things around me. So when I reached out to them, the smaller ones came right back at me and said, "Hey, Ricky, I'm the youth minister, children's minister at the church. I also do remodels on the side. Or my dad owns some houses and we're remodeling them. We would much rather use you, Ricky, than the other people."
Wow, that's good.
Bam! It just took off, and I didn't see that one coming. And every time, I was the one doing it. I was delivering the dumpsters in the trailer, and I shook everybody's hand, and I thanked them, and I appreciate your business. And the people that work for me today, that are driving the big trucks that are part of our team, I've taught them the same thing. They do the same thing. When we go to somebody's house or business, we call them, tell them we're on the way to swap it. We thank them. If they're out there, we shake their hand. We want them to feel appreciated. This is more than just grab your trash and go. That's what's wrong with this. The big companies grab your trash and go. The other day, I took a customer away from a company because the lady said, she got the bill and she noticed that for 6 or 8 months, there's been a $100 stop pay on there. And I said, what does that stop pay even mean? I've never seen that on a bill. And this is a big dog sending this deal. So when I'm sitting in her office with her, she calls to find out what that meant. And because she had the salesperson's card, because you can't call their corporate office.
No.
And the salesperson tells her that a stop pay means the driver drove in the yard, there was a vehicle in front of the dumpster, and he turned around and drove out because he couldn't get the dumpster, charging him $100.
Mm.
It goes on all the time. My guys get out of the truck. You go up there and ask somebody, "Can you move that vehicle, please? I need to
Right.
get the dumpster." What do they do? They get somebody to move the vehicle. They want you to get the dumpster.
Right.
I mean,
Takes a
it's
minute, 2 minutes.
but it's really simple. But if you're big dogs like them companies are, they don't teach their guys to think. They just teach their guy go get the dumpster.
Right. Right.
You know, so I'm just trying to turn this into something different, than just trash.
Because it's not just trash.
Yes, yeah, you can make it personal, and you can run it just like you're going to run anything to be successful and make people feel appreciated.
Right.
I mean, you're taking their money. Can't you at least be appreciative about it? I
Exactly.
mean, put it on a one-on-one level. If you were on the other side, wouldn't you want somebody every once in a while to say thank you? You
Yep.
know, you would. I mean,
And it's
when
not
you
just
go to
sending an
Walmart,
automated email saying thank you for your business, or it's not just
yeah,
saying it's not saying thank you and expecting or wanting something back out of the customer, because everybody and their mom nowadays sends a thank you email after the fact. Thank you for your business, but can you leave me a 5-star review? It's always good to ask for a review. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah.
when you're thanking somebody in expectation of something in return, that's not really a thank you, right? I mean, it's not heartfelt, I guess.
No, no, it's not from your heart.
Hmm. That's right.
And that's
So
what we do. We just touch people.
yeah. So going back to a couple other nuggets I wrote down. So you say you stopped at, like, if you saw a big boy competitor down the street, you would literally stop in that business and walk in there and take your brochure and say, "Hey, I'm Ricky Hickey. I provide
Yep.
dumpsters. I see you have a dumpster outside. Walk me through exactly what you say."
First off, I would go in there and say, "Hey, my name is Ricky Hickey. I have the brochure in my hand," and I just kind of stand it up, and it had the dumpsters on the front page on that one. And I say, "Hey, I just see that y'all have roll-off dumpsters, and I wanted to see if I could talk to the person that's in charge. If they're not too busy, I could visit with them for a minute. Uh, I can beat the person's company the price out there by 10 or 15%. I know the prices of everyone. You should know it too. You
Mm-hmm.
should know if you should know for who you're going after, right? If you're going after big dog customers, you should know those prices. And I go after big dog. So,
Literally,
yep, there you go.
right
Yep,
here.
exactly.
I just did a phone
Yep,
call. All these companies, and I got
yep.
their prices just like not even 2 weeks ago.
So after a little while, that's just lodged in your mind. You memorize it. You pull up there. You go, "Wow, that's Republic. That dumpster is $6.95. I already know that. I could go in here and tell them I'll do it for $6.45,
Mm,
or 600, whatever. Ask a few questions. Like whenever I do get to talk to the person, not all the time they let me talk to them. Sometimes they do. Sometimes a person is a person. I just walked in the front door and handed them this brochure.
right.
And if they say, "Yeah, I'm in charge," I go, "Well, I noticed the dumpster is full a lot because we travel down this road a lot, and I just wanted a chance to throw my name in a hat because we pride ourselves on customer service. I know that dumpster right there. Maybe you stop for a second, and then they'll tell me what they hate about them. They don't call, they can't get a hold of them, and then I'll tell them, I said, "Well, we're different. We want we want your business. I'll give you my driver or my salesperson. We all have cards. You can call the numbers. We answer the phones. We don't have an answering service. We answer every call,
Mm,
you know, so we can get right back to you. We can schedule you on a couple of weeks or once a month, whatever you're on." One lady I went up to, she goes, "Well, you don't see, but around back, we have 6 other dumpsters too.
wow.
So we have 7." And I said, "What are y'all throwing away?" Because the name of the company didn't really say what it was. And she said, "We put all the uh, what do you call on top of the houses? They're putting all the
Shingles or the.
man,
Okay.
solar panels. They're doing the solar panels all the houses everywhere." And she goes, "We leave every morning. We have like 9 vans. They scatter out. They're putting solar panels on people's houses. They have to bring back every piece of trash, and every pallet has to come back to our facility. It's part of our contract. We leave nothing." So they had all these dumpsters back there, and I mean, they were all full when she went back there and showed me. And she goes, and the wind was blowing that day, so stuff was blowing out of the dumpsters.
Mm,
And I said, "I bet I can beat all of those prices, all of it." And she goes, "Well, tell me how much it is." And I said, I told her, and I made that one be about $75 less than
nice.
what they were charging. And the very next day, she called me and told me, "Let's start changing them." And we dump those dumpsters every 2 weeks at that place,
Wow.
all 7 of them.
So
So
when you first started, how
it's
hard?
out there. It's
Definitely no. So when you first started, how hard was it to try to compete with the big boys when you just had like a truck and trailer versus like the 30s and 40s, right? I mean, I don't know what kind of size trailer you had, but I don't know. I don't think you probably didn't have the 30s and 40s on it.
I couldn't compete with the big boys. I had to focus then on construction companies,
Okay.
like remodel constructions company. Uh, I flooded Facebook with ads. I sent them all through my emails to those people. Now over time, I learned you can buy addresses and everything for your area, like scrape different areas, and you can send out stuff yourself. We've done a little bit of that, but basically, even when I was doing the smaller dumpsters with the trailer, when I drove through neighborhoods, let me back that story up. I drove through neighborhoods, and if I saw somebody else's dumpster at somebody's place, I went straight to that person. Boom. I said, "Hey, I have those." Well, first I just asked them, "Hey, how much do you get for that dumpster out there?" Well, they didn't know who I was. And they go, "Oh, we give like 425 or 450 or whatever it was."
Mhm.
Really? Well, I have them too, and I do it for 400. Here, let me give you this little book. If you decide to use me, I'd be more than happy, because it's just trash. And if you save money, it's just more money you keep in your pocket, you
So
know.
how
And
often are you beating the?
every once in a while, one of them would go,
Sorry about that. What was that?
"Huh?
I didn't hear that last part.
Do what now?"
I didn't hear the last part where you were just saying.
I said, "So I tell them I told him it's just trash. You're trying to make money. So I would undercut the other person by just a little bit.
Okay.
That's the name of the game. I'm making no money with those dumpsters, but now I'm up at the top. I had to get my foot in the door.
Right.
But now I'm not at the bottom. I mean, I'm not even close to the bottom. I'm at the top now. But you got to start somewhere.
Right.
You know, and the big ones were even easier when I got the big trucks.
So for everybody
But
watching
the big
though,
ones
and
were
if you're in my
super
market,
expensive.
for everyone watching, and if you're in my market and you see a red dumpster with American AF logo on it, just don't stop in those customers. You can just drive on by and go to the other guys, but leave those customers for me, right? Don't use our own advice against us. But no, so you're saying what you're saying though right now is basically that, now you've probably kind of grown out of that a little bit. You probably still stop some places, I would imagine, but you've kind of grown out of that now a little bit. And now you set the tone. You're kind of setting the market because you're kind of owning your market, right?
Yeah, because now we have exactly 100 dumpsters,
Wow.
and
Okay.
it took me 2 years to get to that point.
That's insane
So
growth.
and then yeah, that's what people say, but it's not over yet. I mean, I want to get to 500, and it might take us another 2 years, but that's going to happen.
Goodness
Um,
gracious.
you get in good with the vendor, like the guy over at Rome that's close to you. Uh, Keystone, that's where I buy them from. I think he's pretty close to where you live at.
Hmm.
Man, they're good people. I can call him and say, man, I need some vendors. He tries to squeeze me in. You know, he takes really good care of me because he knows in his heart. He met me at ERS. I've met him before on top of that, but he knows that I've only got one thing in the mind, and it's I'm going that way. I'm going to keep growing, and I'm going to keep growing, and I'm going to keep growing. So he knows I'm going to keep buying the dumpsters from him. The same way with the company that helped me get the new trucks. You know, they know that eventually, like next year, I already told them. I already ordered another new truck. So
Are you
for the
buying it
third
from?
quarter of next year, so we'll have another new truck.
Are you buying it from the guy that was at the show too?
Do what? Oh, from
Custom One,
yep, One Source.
One Source.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
Custom One. Yep, you got
Okay,
it. Yep, he
nice.
told me One Source. Yep.
So your personal preference
So
on truck is what?
I know also from my
Sorry, there's like
is
a.
Mac. I love the Mac trucks. My guys love the Mac. Yeah, my guys love the Mac trucks. One of the first truck we got, we had to get a Volvo because that's all he could get us. But Mac makes the Volvo truck. It looks just like it on the inside, runs just like it. I mean, it's like the Cadillac. It's like a Cadillac. Both of them are. But I know it's hard to perform a service in a vehicle you're all the time working on. I learned that in my past experience. Everybody's going to have a different take on that one. They'll go, I'd rather have a used truck and not have a truck payment. And I've had that happen probably 24 years ago when I first started with the inflatables. And it didn't take me but one mistake. I went, man, I'm buying new trucks. I can afford it. I'm making money. Uh, and it's another asset you're buying that can be written off anyway,
Right.
because the more you're going to start accumulating, the more you're going to have more assets, and the more you're going to have more write-offs. Um, Fuck, if you want to be a billionaire someday, that's my goal. You're going to have a whole lot of write-offs.
I wanted to play that intro that you did at the show, the video, but copyright on YouTube, they probably wouldn't like that too much. But the billionaire song that you played, that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I hear that.
yeah,
So if you compare, it's very hard, right? Because you own several businesses, and it's been hard for me to juggle a little bit my
right,
personal time, my business time, stuff like that. But it's all about having the right people in the right places. So if you compare the two businesses, the main business, I would imagine they're two main businesses, right? Your event rental and your dumpster rental. Is that fair to say?
correct.
So how? I mean,
Yep, yes,
is there
sir.
going to be a scaling
Absolutely.
back eventually of either one? Is there going to try to scale back maybe the event rentals and go all in the dumpsters, or are you going all in on the both and just keep on going? Nice,
Both, both, and the design factory, all three. All in, all three, full speed ahead. It took about 18 years to get the to get the event company over $1 million a year. Uh, it took about a year and a half to get the dumpster company over 1 million.
nice,
Uh, yeah, that's a big difference. At the event company, I have about 14 employees. Sometimes I have 30, depending on what we're doing on the weekends, right?
Mm-hmm.
The dumpsters, I have 3 people. That's it. You
Truck.
know,
3 guys in a truck, or 3 guys
do
entering.
what? Yeah, 3 guys and 3 trucks. Yeah.
Nice. So who answered your calls? Do you answer all your calls?
Me and Husto and Jay, we have the phones all tied together, and if it doesn't ring, if Husto he catches them all, I want him to catch them all because he speaks Spanish, and so he's the first line. If he doesn't catch it, then it goes to Jay, and if Jay doesn't catch it, it comes to me.
Gotcha.
So it, it's going to get answered A, B, or C. I mean, Husto probably catches 90% of them. He's Johnny on the spot. He's in the game 100%, and so is Jay. But Husto's also parts salesperson. Uh, I stole him away from a big dog, and I
Mm.
offered him more money. I also even offered him a bonus package. Think about this. I have customers that have the dumpsters there for the for eternity is what I say it. They're always going to have them, right? Permanent customers. I told
Mhm.
Husto at the start. I said, Husto, if you land me permanent customers, I'll give you $300 as a bonus. If you land me a one hit customer, which means a construction company or somebody that might only need it for 7 days, I'll give you $50. Because here's what happens. You may think that's a lot I'm giving him on top of his hourly wages, but it's not really because he's putting the dumpster somewhere where someone else can see it, maybe next door, right?
Mhm.
The one $300 for 3 or 4 months, then I'm back at zero, and that dumpster's there forever.
Mhm.
You know, I don't have to pay him anymore. Now we're back to just the hourly wage. So he's constantly hungry out there finding them. Every week, he between his hourly wages and his commission stuff, he makes $2,000 to $2,500 a week.
Nice.
That's pretty good
That's
for
very.
a what do they call him? An unskilled worker, but
Mhm.
he's not unskilled. He has plenty of skills.
Mm.
You know, there's nobody around here doing what he does, making that kind of money. Nobody. You know, but he takes it to the extreme. And matter of fact, whenever he first started working with me, he goes, "Are you going to be mad at me if I kind of tell a little bitty lie?" And I go, "Well, it just depends on what it is, Husto." And he goes, "Well, I think if I told all the people that I talked to that I own the company, I would get us more business." I
Hmm.
said, "I don't care what you tell him." So he tells people all the time he owns it. I have people tell me all the time, "Aren't you partners with Husto?" I said, "Yeah, I'm partners with Husto."
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
whatever he tells them, if it works for him, it works for me.
Right.
And they love it, and the people love him, and he has a passion for it because he's motivated by money.
Hmm.
So there's some things to kind of keep out there. You don't just have to hire a guy for 15, 18, $20 an hour, whatever it may be. Here I have to pay people $25 an hour to drive, because the economy is so good, oil field. But I mean, whatever it may be, um, you can pay them more if they're going to do something for you that's going to bring it back to your team and make you grow without me having to even lift a finger. He's
Right.
doing he's doing my job for me. You know?
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
So, at what point would you say, like, in your? It's only been 2 years. It's incredible to think that you went from 0 to 100, literally 0 to 100 dumpsters in 2 years. But where was your where? I'm sure probably right away. But what was your like turning point? Like, okay, this is no longer just kind of like to get me through COVID. This is going to be like a very real business that it's time to really grow this thing. What would
Probably, I would probably say within the first 2 or 3 weeks,
Nice.
being going to the dump ground. I'd never went to the dump ground in my damn life. You know what I
Me
mean?
too. Me
And then
too.
I go up there. Yeah, see what I'm saying?
Never.
So you go there and you see all them people that have trucks and trailers like you have, but then you see the big dogs, and I mean it's a madhouse out there,
Mm.
And you're sitting there going, "Holy shit, that could be me." There's guys that have 100. I mean, they don't have 100. They have thousands of dumpsters, and they probably have 10 or 15 of those big trucks. I wonder what that guy's making. That's what was going through my mind immediately. not what I was doing, what they were doing, and I thought, man, if I'm doing this on a small scale, how do I get to the next step? And then I just kind of started looking into it and asking questions, and started asking customers, the big ones, what they charged. I think I told you, or I told you all at ERS Con, we landed that big roofing job. And the guy goes, it's going to take 500 dumpsters, Ricky. You got 500 dumpsters? And I go, sure, I do. Fuck, I didn't have no 500 dumpsters. But then I knew we weren't going to put 500 dumpsters at that place,
Right.
common sense. That. And I said, so how many is it going to take? And he goes, well, probably 6 to 8 here. And he goes, but the only way I'll use you, Ricky, if you can promise me you'll dedicate a guy to just us every day, because we're going to turn those dumpsters every day. And I said, I promise you. And that's what we've been doing. I was looking at it last night. I think we're at 140 something, and he's going to have close to 500. And then yesterday, he called me over another thing and was kind of talking. And he goes, "Oh, by the way, Ricky, we landed the other high school and we're going to start in May." And he goes, "It's going to take another 500. What do you think about that?" And I said, "I'm thinking you're going to be my friend for a very, very long,
Right.
long time."
Right.
So I'm kind of stoked about that one. But it's really simple. It really is. It's all about customer service. It's about building relationships. It's about making people feel like that it's more than just taking your money. We're in this together, and I'm going to take care of you, and thank you for letting me.
Mm.
So you can just in a small sense, it is just trash, but in another sense, it's a business that you can make people really appreciate who you are and what you do by your actions and by what you perform every day at their facility.
Mm. So, quick question. So, when you're trying to get this job, right? When you're told that it's 500 dumpsters, and you're
Mhm.
like, oh crap, like this whole oh shit moment, right? Like, I'll make it happen one way or the other, right? But when you're told that,
Oh,
like, what is the negotiations like? Do you basically tell him, where do you need me to be at as far as price is concerned? I mean, I know, I'm sure you're flexible a little bit. So you tell them, where do you need me to be at? Do you just kind of come out with a start high and then work
yeah.
your way down, or well, how does that normally look for you?
Well, number one, and I think a lot of people fail at this, and maybe this is just my personal experience, but talking to other people that have real life dumpsters, if you haven't figured out a formula to see where it generates profit, you're running around in this business chasing your tail,
Mm.
right? You're working for free. I see it every day out at the landfills, and those guys, they don't know nothing. They're running around chasing their tails. They got 5 or 6 dumpsters, and they're charging $300, and people are, they don't have a weight limit on it. They have no restrictions. So they're going through the weigh scale and they're spending 200 of it at the weigh station. So they made $100, and they're not figuring their gas, their time. They're not figuring in what they would pay themselves. And at the end of the day, they're creating a job for themselves,
Mm-hmm.
making a couple of dollars. I mean, you need to have it broke down all the way. I should have brought something in here because I have some stuff like what you just showed there. I have it broke down by what the price is that I would like to get, uh, how much would come out for the pay, the time it would take to turn the dumpster 4 times because you're going there, dropping it off, coming back, and then you're going back and getting it. So really, there's 4 turns in there, right?
Right.
uh, the gas you'd put, take down to the price of the truck, of the brand new truck, and I just have a multiplier how I've it amortized for 3 years, so it breaks down to what it cost on every. Uh, I took the average and broke it down by the number of dumps we made last year, and
Mm-hmm.
that's how much I'm putting into that every job, right? That piece. The insurance, I have it broke down the same way. Uh, the insurance on the truck, workman's comp, everything is broke down. So I have a formula that has it broke down. I know what the number is, where I'm at, and what I want to get. So when I first talked to the guy about the roofing job, again, I knew who he'd used before because they were at the end of another job, and I stopped and the dumpsters were full all the time.
Mm.
And right away I talked to him, and he goes, these guys wear me out. He goes, they never answer the phone, and they only had about, I think he told me they had about, at that job, they only had about another month left. And he goes, we may have, he goes, I'm not for sure how many dumpsters for you, Ricky, but, I'm interested in changing because they've wore me out through this job. And I knew what they charged because I know their prices. And I said, well, you're giving $5.95. And he goes, well, they cut me a little better deal because I was doing volume, Ricky. He goes, well, because we're giving 540 is what he told me.
Mm.
And I said, okay, so here's what I'll do. I'll even give you a trust factor to prove that I can even do better job than they are. I'll do it for 500, and we'll take their place and we'll finish out this job. And at the end of this job, you'll be able to see, you said you only like about another month. You'll be able to see if I'm the person or if we're not the person, and then you really didn't invest much of your time. And then, like you said, you have some bids out for these other jobs. You'll be able to see right away, hey, I need to use Ricky on, to move on, or it was a mistake I made and it was a short-term mistake and I can fix it real quick. But I promise you, it's not going to be a mistake.
Mm.
And he goes, okay, let's do it. He goes, that's fair enough. I'm going to save some money and then I'm going to give you a chance. So we did it. And the first week he called me. He goes, you're unbelievable. Your guys, they're here. I call them. Y'all answer the phone. You do exactly what you said. He goes, if y'all keep this up, we're going to be friends for a long time. We finished that job. He had already told me he had two bids on some other bigger jobs and he landed them. And that's how I came right back in on the next job. He
Nice.
told me then, he said, can we do this? Can we do this one at the 500? I said, we sure can.
And you
And
do
then he just,
30s for them, or what are we doing? Do you do 30s and
30,
40s?
yeah, no, 30s, they get 30 yards. It's 500. They get 4 tons for free. And when it goes over that, it's $60 a ton.
Mm.
Out here at the landfill, it's $30 a ton, right? So double the price. What happens is on a lot of the parts, the dumpster has 10 to 12, anywhere from 8 to 12 tons in the dumpster.
Because it's all shingles, heavy, heavy roofing.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I'm banging. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
500 is just the start. You
Right.
know, the rest is the ching. You know,
Nice. The icing on the cake.
it's icing on the cake. But the other company was getting more. You know what I'm getting at? So, but he's very happy with us. We're making good money doing it. We built a long term relationship. But you got to look at what you got in every turn on every swap. You got to sit down and make a formula for what it costs in your area. Your formula is going to be different than my formula because the cost of doing business, the weight at the landfill, what they're
Mhm.
charging you, how far out, like where I'm at. Um, my yard is 2 miles from the landfill,
Nice.
and I'm 1 mile from town. You follow me? So we can burn and go, and I'm not. I haven't expanded way out to any of the little small towns. I don't want to. I want to do right here and just saturate the shit out of
Yeah.
it, with customer service, So you got to know what your profit point is. You got to build you a formula, and you got to see where you're at, and then you can see if you need to adjust it as time progresses. Cost of fuel or whatever. Uh, I have some customers through our ERS. You can kind of manipulate the system a little bit. And through ERS, I tell them when the price of diesel went up last year, I said now there's a fuel charge. So for every swap, there's a $50 fuel charge, and every customer went, hey, we understand, Ricky. We had to do the same thing to their customers.
Right.
You
Right.
know, the price of diesel affected the way they did business too, just like it would affect the way me and you do business.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so there's things you can do like that with the ERS. You can add that in there, and you get another $50, and they're paying the fuel plus the price you already settled with them. To turn their trash.
Sure. So I'm gonna wrap this up because I don't want to hold you too long. I know you're a busy man, and I mean you've been awesome already as it is, man. You're really giving some nuggets here, man. But one more question. So you've already kind of mentioned your goal is to be in at 500 dumpsters probably in the next hopefully couple of years, right? What does
There's
500 dumpsters look like roughly revenue, not profit obviously, but revenue wise?
500 dumpsters would look like between 8 and 10 million, just to kind of let you know that.
Golly, man, I love it. I love it, man. Ricky, anything else you want to add before we close this up?
Man, just like I tell everybody everywhere I go, it's up to you. You can do anything. You set your mind to it. You set your goals. You never give up. Challenge yourself every day. Hold on just a second. I wanted to show you something.
Yeah, there it
Do
is.
the best you can do, baby. Do
That's
the
it.
best you can do. It's up to you. Every day, it's up to you.
Yep. Yep. I love it. And just so everybody knows, if they were at DRS Con, they would have gotten one of those, right?
Yes, sir. It's
Nice.
just a token to show it's always up to you. No matter what you do every day, it's up to you.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. I would love to have you back later on down the road. I would love to go pay you a visit, but when I put it on my Google Maps on how far you were, I was like, 8 to 9 hours. Maybe next time. I would love to go pay a visit, man. So, and meet you and meet your operation in person. I would love to do that one of these days, man. Let me know if you'll have me, and maybe we'll do another video again sometime in the near future.
All right, sounds like a winner, buddy. Thank you and keep up the success. I love to hear stories from everyone.
Sounds good, man. Appreciate you so much.
All right, bye.
Cool. That was good, man. That was good. I got it. I think
You got it?